What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Plays here, and we finally got what we want as Steve Mills is no longer with the New York Knicks. This is one of the biggest moves that has been made in the past 5 years, and even bigger than the Kristaps Porzingis trade. The reason this move is so significant is because James Dolan may actually understand that the Knicks need to build through the draft instead of buying players at the trade deadline. I thought the reason Steve Mills was going back on his original plan was because James Dolan was forcing them to get good quickly, but in all reality, it may have been the opposite. Just yesterday, Steve Mills was trying to orchestrate a trade with the Warriors to take D'Angelo Russell, but Steve Mills also had talks with teams about trading for John Henson, Terry Rozier, and Andre Drummond. I'm speechless. This morning, Kevin Knox was also a player that Mills is really trying to trade, but at that point, James Dolan must have had enough of this incompetence and sent him out the door. Obviously, Steve Mills deserved to be fired way before, but one of the main reasons why it happened right now is because Steve Mills wanted to keep Marcus Morris on our young team and re-sign him long-term in the offseason to a lucrative deal. This would have been a terrible idea because of Marcus Morris's age, price, injuries, and most importantly, his value on the market right now. Steve Mills has been with the Knicks for about 20 years now, and for most people I'd say thank you for your time here, but not with him. After this news came out, James Dolan was immediately targeting Masai Ujiri because he has a weird obsession with him, which is completely understandable. He's found deep draft gems in Fred VanVleet, who went undrafted but was signed by Toronto, and Pascal Siakam, who was drafted 27th overall and now is an all-star starter. Toronto has not had much draft capital since they are contenders every year it seems, but Masai would have a lot more of an opportunity to turn the Knicks around. The price will be significant to get Ujiri though, as it's sitting at about 2 first-round picks, which the Knicks could give up right now in the 2 Dallas picks in 2021 and 2023, and Toronto may not even want those picks, who knows. Although we could make this deal happen probably right now without giving up our own picks, Masai Ujiri also has to agree to be traded to the Knicks, but his history has not been the best as he said before that he hates the Knicks. His view on the franchise has improved as recently a report came out that said he's intrigued with the challenge of fixing the Knicks, but it's really hard to gauge the level of interest he has to leave a situation as good as Toronto. With Mills gone, Scott Perry takes over, who has not made any bad moves with the Knicks and has drafted very well, which is his main specialty. I don't understand why Scott Perry gets a bit of hate, but he's been nothing but good for the Knicks. Scott Perry was on board with trading Marcus Morris before the trade deadline and will be the one performing the task of getting picks and young players for the veterans on our team at the trade deadline. I feel much better about the next few days because from what we have seen of Scott Perry, he is heavily respected around the league and understands we need to develop our young players and get more picks and assets. These picks may be used by us, or depending on what happens next, could be used in making a trade for Masai Ujiri. However, Dolan is looking for a replacement very quickly, and the Knicks are looking to implement a system like the Warriors or Lakers by hiring a player agent as their president of basketball operations. One specific name that was discussed internally was Austin Brown, who is the current agent of Donovan Mitchell, Zion Williamson, Jaren Jackson Jr., the $21 million per year man himself, Gary Harris, and Pau Gasol. He will be a great duo with Scott Perry because Austin Brown can do the negotiating and Perry can do the drafting and player signings. One person I think the Knicks should look into though is Jeff Schwartz, but I don't know much about this topic, and the only reason I am saying this is because he somehow got the trash can of Harrison Barnes a 4-year $94 million contract, so I think his negotiating is pretty good. The one thing we don't want to have happen is Dolan rush the signing because we need to evaluate all the possible options, and if someone like Sam Presti gets interest in the job as the season continues, we need to act upon it and sign him. Even though this was kind of belated, James Dolan has done some magnificent work with the Knicks today, which is a thing I thought I'd never say in my entire life. After MSG started chanting "sell the team," Dolan definitely woke up from his eternal coma and made sure something happened. Great job to him on this move, and hopefully we see this James Dolan more and more with the Knicks. And hopefully with the signing of the president of basketball operations. All hatred aside, I'm proud of him for this move. Some players to expect to be gone before our next game on Thursday versus the Magic is Marcus Morris, Bobby Portis, Elfrid Payton, and Alonzo Trier. Marcus Morris is on the trade block via James Dolan, so we will have an extra first round pick in one of the upcoming drafts, which is actually going to be huge. We can use this to get Ujiri, another young player, or even trade up in the draft depending on if we get screwed by the NBA draft lottery, which we all know as Knicks fans will probably happen. Bobby Portis and Elfrid Payton are not necessarily 100% going to be traded, but if Scott Perry sees that there's a deal where we can get a good amount of young players and picks in return, he will most likely execute the deal. Trier sadly has to go, there's no saving him at this point. Diashe may still be out the door even though his value is low and he played great last night. The Knicks recently inquired about Kyle Kuzma, and the Lakers were looking for Frank Ntilikina or Marcus Morris probably. I don't know, but based off of their recent interest and their roster construction, they probably are looking at the two of them. The talks were only exploratory though, so nothing too serious, so don't freak out yet. Overall, today has been a great day for the Knicks franchise, and don't let any news articles try and convince you otherwise because everyone hates on the Knicks. I just looked at 4 news articles on the situation, and they were all trashing the Knicks, so don't listen to any of these bogus news stations, they're just trying to get clicks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and tell me what you guys are looking forward to at the trade deadline, and if there are any specific trades or moves that you guys would love to see. I'm excited for the next few days, and now I feel like I'm relaxed and can actually breathe, so now I'm out, and peace!